Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Financial freedom isn't rare because it's complicated. It's rare because it's boring. People would rather chase a new car payment than build a system that buys back their time. But in this video, I'll share the real definition of financial freedom, the exact 3 numbers you need to know, and a step-by-step plan you can start today. And don't miss my 30-day action plan at the end of this video. Financial freedom is not being a millionaire. It's not a fancy Rolex. It's not a vacation photo for Instagram. Financial freedom is simple. If you stop working tomorrow, could your bills still get paid? That's the whole game. Because once your bills are covered with your job, you're not trapped anymore. You can quit bad jobs, you can negotiate, you can take risks, you can breathe. And the fastest way to get there is not a miracle stock pick or a meme stock trade. It's building a system. The problem is most people are doing money backwards. I know because I used to do it myself. But once I figured out what I was about to tell you, I was on my way to financial freedom. Most people do this: get paid, pay bills, spend what's left, and hope savings happen. But hope is not a strategy. The reason people stay stuck isn't income. I've seen people making good money who are still broke because they don't track anything, they don't accumulate anything, and they keep upgrading their lifestyle faster than their wealth. I'm sure you've heard the saying, live within your means. That's why you'll see someone making $60,000 building wealth and someone making $200,000 living paycheck to paycheck. So we're fixing that today. Financial freedom comes down to 3 numbers. I will break down each one throughout the video. Number 1, your monthly expenses. How much does it cost to live your life every month? Not a guess, not how much you think. We are talking real numbers here. Rent or mortgage, car insurance, phone, food, subscriptions, everything. Most people don't even know this number. And if you don't know your expenses, you're not broke, you're blind. Number 2 is your savings rate. What percentage of your income do you keep? Because it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Number 3 is your investment rate. How much money gets invested consistently, automatically, or even when life is busy? Because investing isn't something you do when you feel like it. It's something your system does without your permission. And here's a quick example. If your expenses are $4,000 a month, your goal is to build reliable income streams that cover $4,000 a month. That could be investments, a business, real estate, multiple streams. But step 1 is knowing that number. Here's the order most people mess up. They try to invest while drowning in chaos with stock margins, overdrafts, and high interest debt. Here's the correct order, what I call the freedom stack. Step 1, build a $1,000 buffer. It's a starter emergency fund. I know, this is not the perfect emergency fund. Think of it more as a life happens fund. Studies show that 41 to 57% of Americans would not be able to cover a $1,000 emergency expense using savings, and 27% have no emergency savings at all. So if you have $1,000 saved, you are ahead of half of the adults in the USA. Because if every flat tire becomes a crisis, you can't build wealth. And if I could go back, this is what I would do as my younger self. Open a separate savings account and name it Buffer. Automate $25 to $100 a week until it hits $1,000. The next step I would take is to eliminate high interest debt. High interest debt is a wealth vacuum. If your credit card interest is 20+% and your investments average 8 to 10% over time, you're running uphill with a backpack on. I have friends who would charge a $2,000 Gucci bag to their credit card with no immediate plan to pay it off. I would ask them, would you pay $3,000 for that bag? They would say, hell no. Well, guess what? They're probably paying that and probably more in interest on their credit card payments. Here's the action I would take. List all my debts and pick one method. The avalanche, highest interest first, which is the fastest mathematically, or the snowball, smallest balance first, which is the fastest psychologically. Pick one, stick to it, don't debate it for 6 months. Step 3 is to increase my gap. Your gap is income minus expenses. The gap is your wealth building fuel. You can't build wealth with no gap. And here is the action I would take immediately. Cut 1 to 3 expenses you don't care about. Not everything, just the dumb stuff. Subscriptions you forgot, convenient spending, random shopping, eating out just because. Then redirect that money automatically. Need some help? Here's some things to check. Uber Eats, cut down to 1 streaming service because you don't need Netflix, HBO, Disney, and Hulu. Subscriptions to things you barely use. Trust me, you will be okay and probably happier. I strongly recommend creating a new Google Sheet and listing all your monthly expenses so it's crystal clear where your money is going. Let's move on to step number 4, automate investing. This is where financial freedom starts compounding, not with motivation, with automation. This is what I would do. Set auto investing weekly into a broad index fund like the total market or S&P 500 style fund inside a brokerage account. Even $25 a week matters because you're building the habit of the system. I now invest $1,000 a week, but started with only around $20. Maybe you can do the same and more. Here's the next step I really like as an entrepreneur. Step 5, increase income, also known as the speed lever. Cutting expenses help, but increasing income accelerates everything. Here's the action I would take. Choose one of these. If you work for a company, ask for a raise with numbers and results. Get a high income skill, sales, ads, coding, trades, etc. There have never been a better time to do this with AI. Start a simple side hustle. A service-based is the fastest and doesn't involve a big upfront investment. Sell unused items around your house. This will generate quick cash to kill debt and simplify your environment. Most people need one solid income boost, not 12 side hustles. So let me remind you, financial freedom is not about perfection. It's about consistency. If you automate investing and you increase your income over time, the math starts working in your favor. But if you keep upgrading your lifestyle every time you get a raise, you'll stay trapped forever. That's why you see people who make more money but never get ahead. More money with no system just means bigger problems. And here's a rundown of your 30-day plan. Day 1, calculate your 3 numbers: monthly expenses, savings rate, and investment rate. Write it down, put it in your notes app, because on day 2, you need to open 2 accounts if you don't already have them. A separate savings account labeled buffer, a brokerage account for auto investing. Day 3, you're gonna turn on automation. Auto invest $25 to $100 a week. In week 1, find $200 to $500 to redirect. Cancel or trim 2 to 3 things. Redirect that money to debt or investing, because in week 2, you have your debt attack plan. Pick avalanche or snowball, make 1 extra payment this week. Week 3, you start your increase income plan. Pick one, ask for a raise, apply for 10 better jobs, start 1 service side hustle, sell 10 items in your house. I don't care, just do something. Week 4 is raise your standard. Raise your auto investing by a small amount, even $10 per week. This is how you level up without stress. If you do that for 30 days, you'll be ahead of most people, because most people never start. If you want financial freedom, stop waiting for motivation and start building a system.